believe I'm live. So Thursday morning, oh, one over my chair. Thursday morning yoga class adapted. Just gonna wait for a few people to come in. I can't see literally today because the sun's blaring right down, so I'm kind of missing. Hello, Justine. Hiya. You come back, didn't lose you. So yeah, it's our adapted one today. Got my coffee somewhere. So it'll be a little easier than the normal classes I do, but a little harder than the Tuesday morning class, which is more of a chair yoga. You will need a chair. You might need a block, bands. If you've got knee problems, you might want to have a cushion so that when we go onto the floor, you've got something to put on the floor for you. Make sure you've got enough room around you so that if you need to spread your arms, kick your legs out, that you can without injuring yourself. This class is really sort of more for people with high blood pressure, with low blood pressure, with diabetes, with back problems, with knee problems. So that's why it's more adaptive. So if you haven't got those, you can still do it, you'll still get something out. If you're one of my regular Thursday morning class people, you know how to adapt it to make it harder for you, then you can do. But I'm going to stay low. I just want to encourage people to come with me rather than think that they can go a bit further. I just got someone else in. I'm going to move my chair. We don't need the chair yet. Hiya, Kate. Can't see who's in that one. Can't see at all. So, I'm going to get us standing up to start off. And we're going to have our feet underneath our hips. So, making sure they're in the right position, that the toes are pointing forward. If we lift the toes, engage the knees, engage that front thigh. Think about the inner thigh, squeeze the legs together but they're not going anywhere. Squeeze the bum, squeeze the outside thigh. Make sure that you're not letting your foot drop in, that you're pushing out through the sides, but you're also still pushing into the knuckles. You're not rolling completely over, everything's down. You're not leaning forward, you're not leaning backwards. If you want that chair, you can always have that chair beside you to look after, keep you nice and straight. Pull your pelvic floor in, so imagine you're in a lift, you want to stop yourself from breaking wind, you want to stop yourself from having a wee, and then you want to pull your abdominal in, so you're breathing out and pulling the belly muscle backwards, as if someone's pulling your belly button towards your spine. Bring your shoulders back and down. We're going to bring the hands into prayer, and we're squeezing the hands together. From here, we're going to do our neck stretches. So we're breathing out and we're tucking our chin down. And then we're breathing in and we're bringing our head back. We're breathing out, tucking it down. And breathing in, bringing it back. And we're going to do one more. And then we're bringing it back to centre. So we're going to tick-tock the head. We're keeping that chin tucked in. And we're just breathing out. Breathing in as we're moving, breathing out as we get to the other side. We're doing 3 more on each side. So keep pushing them hands together. Now if you wanted, you could do this sitting down as well. So we're going to bring ourselves back to centre and we're going to turn and look over the shoulder. We don't want to drop the head, drop the chin, we want to keep everything parallel. And then 3 more on each side. Breathe out as you reach the side. And then bringing it back to centre. So taking them arms down. We're going to do our back forward backward bend, but we're adapting it, so we're not taking our head completely down. We're lifting our arms up to shoulder width. We're bending our knees, taking them down, swinging them in front of us, lifting them up, keeping our head lifted, so we're not dropping it, we're keeping it down. We're breathing in to lift up. So we're breathing out, we're swinging the arms in front, we're breathing in to come back up, using them legs. Breathing out, breathing in. And this just makes sure that we're not raising our blood pressure. We're keeping our arms within shoulder distance. Now remember, if you do my class and you haven't got any blood pressure problems, any back problems, you can take your arms higher. 2 more. And our last one. Bring it up. So bringing the arms down, we're keeping the arms by our side and we're just reaching down towards our knees. We breathe out. We're breathing in, coming back up. We're reaching to the other side. Breathing out every time we're moving towards the side. And we'll still feel this in that lower back. Stretching a little bit through the ribs, but it's mainly the waist and that lower back. Like I said, it's these stretches are more to do with making sure that the spine moves in all the positions that it's supposed to. We don't want to let that head drop. We want to keep the chin tucked in. I forgot my count, so we're going to do one more on each side. And bringing it back up. So we're going to slowly go from the shoulders and we're going to turn our shoulders to the side, not our head. We're just using our shoulders. We're coming back to the centre. We're breathing out, we're taking our shoulders round to the other side. We're breathing in, we're coming back. We're breathing out, we're going round. And breathing in, coming back. The feet are staying planted on the floor. They're not moving. The head's not moving. It's staying where it wants to. It's just, again, this waist that's moving. And we're doing it nice and slowly. We're doing it with our breath. Do our last one to this side. Bring it back to centre. So, let's bring our arms in a bit. We are going to lift our arms up now, but we're going to use our brain rather than doing more so with our arms. And this is called windmill. Now, you're taking the arms out in front. Now, I'm doing it because I know everyone's backwards in the... It turns me round in there, so this is my right hand, but it'll look like my left hand there. So, bear with me. You're lifting your arms up. You're going to let your right hand come forward, but your left hand is going backwards, and you're going to follow your left hand with your eyes. Then you're letting the 2 arms come down. You're turning back because you're still following this left hand with your eyes. You're bringing them both up. So they're going up. You're still watching that left hand. It's coming up, but the back one's coming up at the same time. We're turning round. We're still following that left hand. Still following it, but the right hand is mirroring exactly what it's doing. Now this makes the brain work. It's a bit much for first thing in the morning. There's a slight movement. We're going to do one more, and then we're going to change the arm that we're watching. Now they're both going to end up back up in the air. So now we're going to follow our right hand. We're going to take the right hand forward and the left hand will go backwards. We're again following it. We're still following, we're still mirroring with the left hand, but we're not watching what the left hand's doing. I can imagine some people's faces at home now are having a mad one with this one. It's as if you were rubbing your belly and tapping your head. Literally what it's doing. The two sides of your brain have to work at the same time, but you're doing things one forward, one backwards. And this is going to be our last one, and we're going to meet up in the air. And we're bringing it back. We're bringing them arms down. So as well, you'll feel that right into the shoulders. You'll feel it into the arms, the wrist, the hand, everything it works. But at the same time, it's making that brain work, waking it back up. So let's bring it into our hips. So if we take our feet slightly apart, and we're going to move our hips backwards and forward. Place your hands on the bony part of your hip. Let your knees relax. Now, you're starting off with your hips nice and straight. You're just going to tilt them forwards as if the water's going to come out, because it's a bowl. Think about your hips as a bowl. So if you tilt them forwards, they'll come out this way. You're going to tilt them backwards, and the water's going to come out that way. Okay? And then we bring them back to straight where the water's held nicely in our bowl. So we're going to tip it forwards. We're bringing it back to centre, and we're going to tip it backwards. Now it might not be much of a movement, it just depends on how much give your hips have got. You're just moving them a little bit backwards and forwards. It'll feel painful, but at the same time really nice, especially when you go back, this area here. Again, this is us sitting all down. We tend to sit in this position where this part of the spine is stretched the other way, instead of sitting in this bit where there's a tiny little bit of an arch, or then you'll go into a slightly bigger arch. So your tailbone kind of sticks outwards. In this way, the tailbone's sticking down. In this way, the tailbone's sticking under. So if you read in yoga books, they'll tell you about tilting your tailbone out, under or forward, and it's to do with where your hips are in this position. So bring it back to centre. Again, keeping hold of the hips, relaxing them knees. You're going to tilt the pelvis so that now you're tilting it up to your left, and as if there was water in it, it would all drop out through the right. You're bringing it back to centre, where again it's centred here and here, and then you're going to lift up. But again, when you're lifting up, you're not going backwards or forward, you're keeping it in one position. Again, I'll turn to the side. So we're tilting it up to the other side, but we're keeping it neutral We're not tilting it under. We're not tilting it back while lifting. It's central. So then we're coming back to centre. We're going over the other side. Back to centre and back in. And with this, you'll feel it working on them side muscles. So this is everything that keeps your hips, your lower part of your body, attached to your upper part of your body. And if you're sitting on computers, what tends to happen, we all tend to lean onto one side. So we all lean on one side. So the one side stretches, the one side stays nice and tight. Now I had a question or a question asked to me. Somebody was washing themselves. So you carry on going side to side, Archer. Someone was washing themselves in the shower, and they turned to wash their back. They got a pain that shot through their body. Their toe sprung up, their bone felt as it was coming out. Everything went wrong. Now this tends to happen is, like I said, if we're leaning on one side constantly on our computers, sitting on our chair watching the telly, if then we go quickly this way, our body kind of, and it's never normally that big because we know we're going to do that, it's the coming back out. These muscles that are constantly flexed, that are constantly working and tight, they're not used to stretching. So then when you stretch it, it kind of goes into shock. But then you're bringing it back and flexing it again. And it's all this. And it tends to be, if you were to do this way and go down, you'd pull, the muscle might be here, but it might affect the opposite leg. It could affect the shoulder on the same side, but then it could affect the opposite leg. So all of these, if you do something, you've sort of gone one way and you've come back out of it, it's ouch. Try to do the same thing but slowly on the other side, and think about, as you're coming out, every muscle that's working. So always, if you do something really quickly and you pull something, try and think, I've got to do that on the opposite side but slower, so that I can stretch back out that area that I've pulled. But everything we do, try to think about what you're doing. So that was my little talk. I did say to somebody I would mention that. Hopefully she's watching and it helps. So we're going to take it in a circle. So now with this, we're relaxing our knees, we're tilting our pelvis under, we're bringing it to the side, we're going to tilt it back, we're bringing it to the other side, we're tilting it forward. So it's going in a circle. I'm not doing left, right, otherwise, because like I said, I'm backwards to what you're seeing. So otherwise we'll be going like this the whole time. Okay, so we're going round in a circle. And with the whole of this, what we're doing is we're working all the muscles forwards, backwards and side that hold our body in. And we're going to bring it back to our centre. We're going to take it in the opposite direction. Now again, your circle might be little. Your circle could be even wider than mine. It just depends on what your body can do. And then we're going to bring it back to centre. Lovely. Bring yourself into your feet underneath your hips. You're going to bring your toes up and you're just going to step one at a time. So we're going up and down and we're doing a mime strut. Can't actually remember what I was supposed to be doing here. Doesn't matter. And then we're going to bring it down. Okay. So I'm going to take you into a half bend and then to a full bend. Now, if you've got your chair, you can always have your chair ready, especially for the full bend or even for the half bend. I'll bring it in for the half bend and then I'll bring a block in for the full bend. You may want to block if the chair's too high. So we're going into a half bend first. If you've got your chair, make sure that it's on a mat so that it doesn't move. You don't want it on like floor, line or anything like that so that it will fly off. So if we turn around and we have the chair, the back of the chair first, so that you can lean onto that. From here, if you place your hand on the back of the chair, you're going to step your feet out, keeping the feet facing forward and again in line with the hips. You're going to bend forward, trying to keep that back nice and straight and a nice straight neck, pulling the shoulders back, pulling in. Now, if you find that you're curling and your spine's kind of coming up, then bend the knees, tilt the pelvis backwards. So instead of it being neutral, we're tilting it so that the water's coming out the front. We're bending that, we're tilting the pelvis forward, we're pulling the shoulders back, we're holding it here. So this is a half bend. You'll feel it right into that lower back, into them shoulders. So you don't want the shoulders pulling forward, you want them up, but pulling back and away from the ear. Tuck the chin in. And then we're going to lift back up. And you'll feel that right in your lower back, so you're just going to tilt the pelvis under, push back. So let's try one more. So without it, you can use that if you want to. You can place your hands on your knees, on your thighs, shoulders back, pull the belly in, go forward, shoulders back, pulling in, nice long neck. If you wanted, you could bend them knees and it'll help to straighten out that back. And then from here, we're going to bend the knees a bit more, look up, stretch up, hips push forward, shoulders back, push up, and bring it back. So we're taking it down to the floor if we can, or to our chair. Now we've got to think about our back, we've got to think about our blood pressure. So we're keeping our head lifted the whole time. So we're standing by our chair, but this time we've got the seat of our chair, not the back of our chair. We're breathing in, taking the arms out to the side. Bend the knees, breathe out, bringing the hands down onto the chair. Tuck the chin in, see if you can straighten the legs, shoulders back. From there, keeping the chin lifted, take the hands down. Feel that stretch through the back. Keep pulling them shoulders back. Breathe in, lifting up. Now have a think, how do I feel? Has my blood pressure raised? Do I feel a bit dizzy? Do I feel a bit sick? If I am, I'm not going to go any further. I'm not going to take it much further. If we feel okay, we do it again. We're breathing out, keeping them legs straight, bringing ourselves, bending our elbows. We'll feel this right through here, right through the lower back. If you feel your knees going or you feel you're arching, don't go any further. But keep them legs straight and try and keep that back straight as well. And then we're going to lift back up. So from here, bend the knees and lift up. Push the hips forward, bring the shoulders back. Bringing it back. Okay. So, let's go into sun salutation. Now, with this, we're doing it with the chair. So you move quite quickly. Let me show you the first, the bit that tends to be the worst. So it's coming from down dog, which is here. So again, we're keeping our hands on the chair, on the seat of the chair. We're pushing down into our back, but we're not letting our head drop. That way our head always stays in line with our heart. We're coming up and we're coming forward. We're dropping the hips or shoulders back. Then we're dropping the hips down. We're pulling the shoulders back. We're looking up to cobra and we're pushing back. So that tends to be the hardest bit. So you want to move through that quite quickly. If I start talking, don't take any notice of me, move through it. So let's stand by our chair and we'll go into our full bend. So we're going to breathe in, lift the arms out to the side. Breathe out, keeping them legs straight if you can. Bring your hands down to your chest, shoulders pull back. Breathe out, pull the belly in, bend the elbows, bringing the head towards the chair. Feel that stretch through your back. Breathe in, come up. Step back with your left foot and see if you can place, I'm going to turn around this way. From here, if your toes up, you're going to see if you can place your foot flat down with that little toe pushing down. If it rolls, if it doesn't want to, then you can stay here by all means. So you're going to there. You're pushing to the front knee and you're rolling the shoulders back, looking up. From there, we're coming back to our tiptoe and we're going to step our toes back. See if we can push the heel down. See if we can bring our chest towards the floor, keeping that back nice and straight. We're coming up onto our tiptoes and we're coming forward, shoulders come back, hips come in line into our plank. We're dropping the hips, shoulders roll back even further. We look up, push up. We then push back to child. We're going to lift our left foot and pull it in and see if we can step it back by the chair. We turn that foot out of the back, place the heel down, push it. Then we're turning it, we're stepping in, we're keeping the back straight, we're bringing our arms down. We're bending our knees and we're lifting up. Okay, should do it this way. And hopefully you'll be able to see this one as well. So, again, lifting up, breathing out, bringing the hands down onto the chair. Tucking that chin in. Breathe out, bend the elbows, pull the belly in, feel the stretch. Now you might not go this far, you may only go a little bit. We're going to come back up. We're going to start, take our right foot and step it back. Then if you can, get that foot down at the back. Push into that front knee. Come back onto your tiptoe. Step back. Push the heels to the floor. Turn the fingers in. Hands down. Push down to down dog. Come up onto the tiptoes. Roll forward. Shoulders back. Squeeze the stomach muscles. Tuck the chin in. Drop the hips, shoulders pull back, look up to cobra. Push back to down dog. Lift the left leg up, step it back in, turn that foot slightly at the back, shoulders back, push into that front knee. Step in. Drop the body, bend the knees, take the arms out, breathe in, reach back and breathe out, bring the arms down. Lovely. So, hopefully you've seen that. It's just a way of doing sun salutation without having to get to the floor, so that you don't have to put too much pressure on your back. Like I said, if you come to my class regularly and you know how to adapt it, then you can. But like I said, I do this class mainly for people with high blood pressure, diabetes and joint problems. So, saying that, we're going to do a standing head to knee-ish. Again, if you know how to do it, you do it. We're going to use our chair to give our leg a little stretch. Now, you can have your chair with this chair thing at the back. That'll give you a bit more stability. So you're holding onto that again, make sure it doesn't move. You're bringing your foot up onto the chair. And then you're straightening it out, pulling the toes back. From there, the shoulders come back, you're pulling your belly in, and you're seeing if you can move down that leg. You can place your hand on the chair, you can have it on the back of the chair like I've got it here. You can grab the toe, grab the leg, anything you want, and you can give yourself a little pull. You'll feel that right into that lower back. But again, you don't want to be here, you want to be pushing the back down, tuck the chin in. So then we're going to come back up again. We're going to hold on there, bend the knee, and then take it off. If you want to, you can swap legs, swap the chair around, or bring it up again. So it goes flat down first, and then you're pushing it out, pulling the toes back. Hopefully you can see. So squeezing the stomach in, shoulders back, move down towards that leg. If you can't go very far, it doesn't matter. You can place your hands on the chair, you can place it on your leg, anywhere you want. Every time you're breathing out, you're just trying to let the body drop down. And then we're coming back up again, stepping the foot up, stepping the foot up. Second time's always better. So foot goes up, we go onto the heel, push it out, pull them toes back, pull the belly in, shoulders back, breathe out, slide down your leg. Like I said, if you want to, see if you can grab at the bottom of your leg. Don't go over the top, it'll make your shoulders lift. So keep your hand down the side. And let's bring it up. And we're changing sides, last time. Pull the belly in, slide down. So with this you'll feel it into that lower back, but also the backs of these legs as well. And then bringing it back up. So let's move our chair out of the way for now. Well, in fact, you can have it if you want. You can always have it here because we're going into a balance standing on one leg. So that's there if you need it. Just going to move it out of the way. We're taking it into tree. Now, tree, you've got to find a spot to look at. It's no good looking at me. If I wobble, you'll wobble. So you need to find something in line with your face. I'm looking down because my screens are on the floor. So I need to kind of look over the top of my screens in front of my eye level. That'll help me to stay focused. Now with your legs and your hips, it depends where you can get. The leg you're going to start off on is your left. We're starting off by tightening everything up in that leg. So you're lifting the toes, engaging the knees, engaging the thighs. Imagine squeezing the legs together, but it's only the one leg. tighten up the bum muscles, the thighs, the pelvic floor, and the abdominal lock. Now with the other leg, you can start with your toe on the floor and you're just turning the knee out and you're placing it here. So we'll start here, we'll start nice and low. We're bringing the hands together in prayer, we're squeezing the hands together, we're looking at a spot just in front of us. Relax the jaw, make sure you're not gripping your jaw. From there, shoulders back down, pull the stomach muscles in, tighten up the leg, your left leg, sorry. And now you're just gonna take the left foot off the floor, hold it there. It's great for your ankle, it's all your core muscles, everything is working. Make sure you're breathing, don't hold your breath because again that will affect your blood pressure. And if you wanted, you could always have the chair as well and hold on to the chair if you really needed to, it's there. So we're going to bring the toe back down, we're going to turn the knee back into centre and we're going to place it back down again. Making sure the hips are all in the right place. Let's move our weight over onto your right foot. So tighten up all the muscles in that leg, the pelvic floor, the abdominal, shoulders back and down, hands to prayer. Onto your tiptoe, turn your knee out to the side, place it against your ankle. When you feel ready and you find your spot, push your hands together, lift your foot off the floor. If you need to, like I said, you can always have that chair. If you feel you can, see as you're breathing in, if you can lift the arms up. But again, if you feel that its blood pressure's too much, you can we'll take it back down. So I'm going to stay here, but remember, if you haven't got blood pressure problems, you've got joint and back problems, you can always lift your arms higher. And then we're going to bring the knee in and drop it down. So we're going to take it a little bit higher if you can. Now you can have your foot here, you can have it there. One place you cannot have it is there. So you cannot push against that kneecap, otherwise you're going to injure it. I tend to have mine up here. Now if you're finding this is too much still, you can always do it on the chair. So you can always sit down, sit to the edge of your chair, flex your foot and bring your foot up and place it here. You can always use a wall as well, but if you've got the chair, use the chair. So it doesn't matter where you bring your foot to for the next one and how you're doing it. You're just going to try and get it a little bit higher and you'll feel it into that hip. And like I said, sitting down, you'll do it. If you want to, you're lifting up and I'm going to hold it here. So you can bend your knee if you want. You'll tighten up all the muscles of the standing leg. I'm holding that. I'm bringing the hands to here. And what I'm doing with this is I'm imagining that I'm opening my leg as if I'm opening a book. Pushing it out. The more you push it out to the side, the more it'll pull in here. But it stretches them legs. Make sure you're breathing. Make sure you find something to look at. Hold it there. And again, we're going to bring it down and we're going to move our weight over. So we find our spot, we tighten our muscles up, we bring our leg to wherever we want to. So it doesn't have to be here. Just I know a few people like doing this one. And again, it gets your heel and your ankle and your knee and your hip ready to go to the next levels. So we're bringing our hands in, shoulders back, pushing that knee towards the floor. And then we're bringing it in and bringing it back down. So I'm going to take you down onto the floor. Now, if you're not great at getting onto the floor, this is where our chair comes in, and so does our pillow or a blanket, anything like that. So I'm going to get you down to the floor so that I can get it nice and safely. If you are going onto the floor, it was a tip somebody gave me the other day. Make sure somebody's in the house with you, just in case you get down there and then you can't get back up again. So make sure there's someone there. If there's no one in the house and you're not very sure at getting down on the floor, don't get down on the floor. Just watch this bit. Next time, get someone to stay with you to do it. Or go on YouTube and get it from there. So, to get to the floor easily, put the pillow in front of your chair. Make sure, again, your chair's sturdy. It's not going to fall apart. You're placing your hands on your chair. You're coming down onto one knee. So always your best knee. So if you've got two knees and one knee is really bad, start with it, go on down onto your good knee, not onto your bad knee. You're taking the good knee down. Then you can take the other knee down, but you're not putting much weight into it. You're transferring to the floor. You're bringing yourself down. I'll show you from the other side so you can see which is my bad knee. So I'll do my bad knee. So this is my good knee. We're going down onto our good knee. Just as we're about to bring the bad knee down, we move to our hand and we roll onto our bum. And we'd come out exactly the same way. We'd go onto our good knee, our hands on here, we bring our foot up, and then we push using mostly hands, a little bit of the foot to bring ourselves back up. Okay? So again, coming down, you can do it like that as well. So, let me just move my chair out the way. And move that. Now, we're going to bring it into crescent moon. So this is a knee exercise. And you may want to put this underneath the knee at the back. You're coming forward, so if you have a bad knee, you put the cushion underneath the knees. Bring your foot forward. And then the other one, if it wants to stay there, it can stay there. You can push it back a little bit. You're dropping your hips towards the floor. So I'm going to change in the opposite direction so you can see the back. So again, if you need to, you have the blanket under the knees. Bring the foot forward so it's between the hands. This one's going back. Now, if you push into the back of the leg, you want to try and lift the knee off the floor so that it's not actually too much into the knee. Drop the hips down and then lift yourself up, pushing your hips back. Roll the shoulders back. Look up. This is crescent moon, and you'll feel it stretching this muscle here, the psoas muscle, which holds the leg to the body. It's again sitting down. So the more you sit, the more you'll feel this. So we're going to change sides. So we're leaning back. We're swapping legs. Bringing the foot forward, leaning forward. So again, pushing into that front leg. We want to make sure that it's not going over, that it's in line. So it's more there, nice and straight. So again, we're pushing onto the knee. We're still pushing forward. The shoulders come back. Look up and drop the hips. Yeah, my time. And we've got to do it a second time. So we're bringing it down. We're going to swap. Push into the front leg. Bringing the hands up. Now if you can, if it's your left leg up, you're going to get your right hand and breathe in, lift it up. Again, if this affects your blood pressure, keep it in line. And then we're bringing it down. We're going to change sides last time. So again, pushing forward, lifting up, and the opposite hand lifts out, lifts up if you can. Even if it feels too much, you could always bring the hand to the shoulder and lift the elbow up. And that should kind of reduce the blood pressure a little. And then we're bringing it down and coming down onto our bottom. So we're going to take it into a side exercise. Now you can use a rope, or you can just use your hand, whichever you prefer. You're going to lie down onto the side. You can have again something underneath your arm, but I want you to just rest your head. Can you see me? I don't know. Rest your head in your hand. I'm going to go that way because it's more my legs than me. So you're resting your hands in your head in your hand, and then if you straighten that bottom leg, but bring the top leg over the top so it's in front. The bottom leg, you're flexing the foot and you're going to lift it up and bring it back down again. You're going to lift it and bring it down. As well as working that inner thigh, it starts to stretch the outer thigh as well. But you'll also feel it in your waist. We're going to do 2 more. And then you're going to roll over and do the other side. But I'm going to roll over this way and do it this way so you can see me that way. So again, the top leg goes over the top. The bottom leg is flat. If you can, keep that foot flat down, but it doesn't matter. It's more to do with this bottom leg. You're lifting it up, you're bringing it down. We're doing 5. Can't even count to 5. I think that was 4. And that's 5. So let's change sides. 1 more time each side. So head in your hand, bottom leg flat, top leg on top, flex your foot, lift it up, bring it down. Don't worry if you can't get it up very high, it doesn't matter. Any little movement, you'll feel it through the back, you'll feel it in there. It's a lovely exercise, works all over. And our last one. So let's turn over. And relax. So I'm going to stay here. We're staying in the same position, but we're bringing that foot down at the top one. We're going to turn it so that it's pointing up towards the ceiling, and then we're lifting it up. Now if you can, grab hold of your leg anywhere. If you've got an elastic or a band, you can always put that round and grab hold. You can grab at the back of your thigh, you can grab at the back of your calf, you can grab your big toe, anything you want. This bottom leg, if you find that you're rolling forward, bend that and have it down. You can always have that hand at the front and you're just pulling. So it doesn't matter where you're pulling, but you're trying to pull that top leg towards your head. And then we're bringing it down. So the toes are still pointing up, and then we point them in. So let's do the other side. Rolling over. So again, head in your hands. Bend that bottom leg if you want. Turn your top leg towards the ceiling. Lift it up. Grab hold of it. Give it a pull. Doesn't matter where it is. And then we're bringing it back down. And we're turning it in. And we're rolling over. Last one. So if you can, keep that straight. Pull them stomach muscles in. Tighten your pelvic floor. Turn your foot. Lift it up. Give it a pull. And the whole time, if you're pulling in your stomach muscles, keeping that leg straight, again, your pelvic floor is working. Your abdominals are working. Your core strength. As well as doing the inside of your thighs as well. Which is great. Remember that people's hips sometimes just won't go. Always remember that it's your hips sometimes that just will not allow you to do this. So bringing it down. Let's do our last one, roll over. So pull everything in, squeeze your stomach muscles, turn your foot, lift it up, give it a pull. Yeah. Running out of time. And then bring it down, turn it in. From here, roll onto your belly, push up, push back to child, and bring yourself up. If you need to, come straight over onto your bum if your knees hurt too much. So, we're going to take it into, which would be lotus, but I can't get you into lotus. So we're going to do cross legs. For a lot of people, cross legs is just a killer. So we're going to do one leg at a time. Bring one leg in, bring it in. Try and let it drop down. If it feels too much, it feels like it's up there somewhere, you can always get a pillow, a cushion, and let it relax. Now, while we're doing this, I've got a couple of minutes, so I'm going to do facial exercises. Now, yous are all fine. Yous are not on screen. Nobody can see you doing these. I am going to put this up, so I will be making funny faces on YouTube forever. But they are really good. And if we're thinking about different parts of the body, then we've got to start thinking also about our facial muscles. We're going to start with our mouth, and we're going to make a little O to a big O. So you're going to go. And you should feel that all the way around here. So it's a nice stretch for the face. We're going to change our legs. So we're going to bring the other leg in. And if you need to, again, if it's right up in the air, you can always stick something underneath. Let it relax. Don't worry about it. So now we're going to work our tongue. If we're talking constantly, and if we're on the phone these days, it's a lot more on the phone, we need to use our tongue. So with our tongue, what you're going to do is you're going to lick round your teeth. You're going to go round in a circle. We're going to go 3 times in one direction, 3 times in another, because I'm going to run out of time. So, and then go in the opposite direction. And relax, and you'll feel right into the neck muscles, into the facial muscles, everything starts to work. So we're going to take it out and we're going to lick our lips as if we were Scooby-Doo and we've got a load of sugar around our mouth. So again, we're doing 3 one way, 3 the other. and bring it back. Give your mouth a little wine. So there's we'll change size. Now if you can, see if you can bring the 2 legs in. If you need to, one might be down, one might be up. So again, if you find that one's up a little bit more, put the blanket on, a pillow underneath. Now, this is one for the vocal cords. And if you're constantly shouting, especially if you've got kids around or you're a teacher, you want to just open up the vocal cords, give them a little shake. I will probably show this. I've got my book. I will probably show this on Friday tomorrow in my breathing one. Okay, but the vocal cord, you have to kind of swallow, pull the throat in, and then you've got to kind of make a noise like a fire engine. And it comes from the back of the nose. But you don't run out, so you stop as soon as you have to. So you're closing the throat by either swallowing, yawning, and stop. And what that does is if any of you are asleep or you sleep at night with your mouth open, in this weather, especially with the pollen, it'll all kind of stick. So if your vocal cords are like that, you'll end up with pollen. They'll either stick together like that, so you'll have all your vocal cords stuck together because you've got all slime, bit of cold, everything in there. And what that does is it kind of shakes your vocal cords, and it starts to separate them and throws off all the gunk that's in between. So you may feel you want to cough afterwards, and that's okay because it'll clear it out. But you'll find that it just relieves that throat a little bit and makes you feel as if you can project your voice a little bit better. So I will do more. I've started down here. I've done the mouth section. Have a go with those because I'm going to run out of time now. So let's do a little bit of breathing. So if we just relax our arms, bring our shoulders down. Breathing in through the nose, breathe out. Now imagine breathing in a little bit at a time. So into the bottom part of the stomach. Hold it, 1, 2, 3. Breathe in a little bit more into the chest. Hold it, 1, 2, 3. Try and breathe in a little bit more. Hold it, 1, 2, 3. Breathe out completely. Now with this, every time you're pulling the breath in a little bit and holding it, the air should feel as if it's going all the way around to the back. It'll start to dissipate all the way around, moving to all them areas it needs to. But it also gives you the understanding that there's 3 sections and it's 3-dimensional. You'll hear a lot, let's breathe out, that people are breathing and getting you to lie on your belly because we breathe into our back. And so doing this helps that air, because we tend to breathe into our chest more. If you hold it for a bit, you'll feel it go into all them areas in the back. And breathing is a really good thing, especially like I said at the moment. So I'm going to let you carry on that on your own. I'm going to give a few people a wave so I can see, because like I said, it's very tough in here. Oh, I got a new person. Hello, Babyface. Don't know who you are. Oh, V's there. Michael, hello. Hiya, Tony. Hope you're enjoying it. Hiya, V. Oh. Cancel that. And then on here. Hiya, Anne. Oh, I hope you enjoyed that. Hello, Roshi. Hiya, Aves. So, yeah, do your facial exercises. You'll feel them. They're beautiful for the face. And then maybe next week I'll get in, do some more up at the top. But like I said, I'm about to get going. They're about to like kick me out. So I've only got one person watching this, so it doesn't matter. So catch me on YouTube if you missed this. So take care. God bless. Bye bye.